This time around, SpongeBob is going to not only be out of the water in our world, he's also going to be presented for the first time in CG, computer graphics, and also in 3D. So those are three things that are a little different.
On top of that.
Yeah, it was exciting. I mean, it was something that we haven't done a lot of, and we never do any of that kind of stuff on the show because we only have 11 minutes, and so it was fun to do, and we had a great crew, and we were lucky. Steve and I went to school with Mike Mitchell, who directed some of the live action parts, and he had a lot of experience, did live action movies, animated movies, and hybrid movies, so he was a great asset on the film. He helped us through those things that we weren't as familiar with, and the end result, it all came together, and it's pretty exciting. Yeah, that was interesting too, because I was actually, I knew that somehow the CG characters would look great in 3D, but we weren't sure about the animated, the hand-drawn stuff. But when we got back our first test, we realized, wow, it looks really great. I wish we could do the TV show in 3D, but only 6 people have 3D TVs. Our backgrounds are painted by hand, so there's a lot of paintbrush strokes in there, and the texture in there, when you see that in 3D, it gives it really a lot of depth that we weren't expecting, and so it was a nice surprise to see, and we got really excited when we saw the first test, and it was just it looks so great. Start out in Bikini Bottom, and so they sort of have their traditional look to them. We did, there were some things we tried to do to the animation that we don't necessarily have the time or the money for on the TV show, to make them look a little fuller and to give the movie a little more depth and make it, a different experience from what happens in the TV. And then they show up on land when they leave the water and end up on land as CG characters, but in their normal size and shape. And that was fun to do, and for us that was the biggest shock, because we had no idea how that's going to turn out, and the company that did the work, Allura in Australia, they did an amazing job, and it's pretty seamless. It was an easy transition, for us, and then the superhero stuff is just so weird and silly that that we that I love that stuff, and especially Sandy. It's so great to see her as a real squirrel, 6 feet tall. That's really funny. Well, we tried to have their superpowers come from their personalities on the show, and so we thought, it would be funny if they seemed like because if you could come up with any superpower, most people would say, oh, I want to fly, I want to do this, I want to whatever, and but they all came from things that they love to do on the show and in their normal form. So, Patrick summoning ice cream cones, and SpongeBob blowing bubbles that are indestructible, and Squidward playing his clarinet, and Mr. Krabs, loving money so much, so we gave him a really expensive suit to wear, a robot suit to wear. But yeah, we just tried to keep it within coming out of their characters. Well, he's amazing. We definitely just wanted someone we knew that Antonio could play scary people, and also he could be funny, and he's physical. He did his own stunts, and he showed up, and he fit right in right away, and he brought a lot to the table, and in his performance and just in the way he was moving his body and things, it brought a whole nother level to the character that we didn't imagine even when we were writing it. So he was great, and he definitely is a different kind of pirate than people are used to seeing. So I'm excited to see how people react to the ending of the movie with the the CG versions of the characters, and also the superhero versions, and that whole sequence, because to us that was like the big kind of breath of fresh air. Like, we've been doing the show for so many years, and this was something completely different, and so for us it's really exciting to watch. And when we watch through the movie, we can't wait to get to the end and see it, because it's really kind of exciting to see for the first time.